All right. So now we've been left with, here's another problem here. I've got another line. I happen to know 2 points on this line. They are the intercepts, and I want to find the slope. Now, let's just kind of guess in advance where we think that slope ought to be. Okay, we see this line is going downhill from left to right, so because of that we expect the slope to be negative, not positive. Furthermore, we see it's going down pretty steep. It's going down at a pretty steep clip. So we expect a number like -2, -3, -3.7. We don't expect a number like -1/2, -2/3. We don't expect numbers close to 0. We expect them further from 0 than the value 1. So we're expecting a negative slope fairly far from 0. So now with that kind of mentally trapped in our minds here, let's try to figure it out. Slope is change in y over change in x. Well, how much does y change? Well, at the later point here, it's -3. And at the first point, y is 0. Okay, so there's my change in y. What about the x's? Well, at this point here, my y is 0. My x is 0, excuse me. So 0 is the x value that goes with y equals -3, so they have to be on top of each other. And -1 is the x value that goes with y equals 0. Okay, so now I've got -3 is my numerator, 1 is my denominator. That's a slope of -3. And our brief check on whether or not we got that slope right is the fact that we've gotten a negative slope that is fairly large in magnitude, that is larger than 1 in magnitude. Well, just a quick note here. Do we have to necessarily use this point as our second point, this point is the first? Well, no. We could go the points in the opposite order. We could say slope is 0 minus -3. So 0 minus -3. But it's always y minus y on top. But if we start with this y, we have to start with this x. -1 minus 0. Well, this becomes 3 over -1. Oops, that's not -3 and 1. But wait, the fraction is in fact equal to -3. It's the same thing we got. So it's that number describing the steepness of this line.